Hey guys, welcome back to Bullfrog Hikes. In today's video, I'm going to talk about some of my favorite gear items that I used on the PCT this year. I hiked from Canada all the way to South Lake Tahoe, so around 1,700 miles of the trail. So yeah, let's get right into it. These are the items that I used and what worked out best for me. So starting off with the first item, we have the Z-Packs 7x9 tarp. This thing is great. It kept me dry in like maybe the 5 rainstorms that I had. This is gonna live in your backpack most of the time. Like, you're probably not even gonna take it out every night. For me, I got used to cowboy camping, and I would cowboy camp basically every single night. And if it was buggy, I would have a head net with some DEET. The DEET I would put on my face and any skin that was exposed. But I also recommend treating your quilt in permethrin to keep the bugs away. That made a huge difference, and something that you kind of have to do regularly because it does wear off. But just for the weight savings and the simplicity of like not having to set up my tent every night or my tarp, it's just nice to cowboy camp. And one thing about cowboy camping is you're definitely going to want a ground sheet, and this is the Everbuilt fabric. You could also use Tyvek, but yeah, also literally the world's smallest DEET bottle. You don't need a lot of DEET. It's very strong stuff. It's 100%. And what I would do is like spray some on my hand and just wipe it on my face, like cheeks, forehead. Try not to get it too close to like your eyes and any openings like your mouth, but it would really it would create like a aura of bug-free zone around my face. And then that paired with a head net, it worked great. There's gnat repel, picaridin. Some of these things are less harsh, but I found that DEET, although it's harsh, it gets the job done. The thing I will say about the tarp is you kind of want bigger stakes. This is not the greatest stake. This is a Walmart generic stake. I'd probably go for like something that doesn't collect as much dirt. And the reason why you want longer stakes is because a tarp like this, it's gonna flap in the wind. It's gonna be kind of like a parachute, as well as the fact that if one of your stakes collapses, your whole tarp is gonna be like flapping through the wind. Like, it's pretty violent when it happens. So really make sure your corner stakes especially are tied the hell down. Yeah. I mean, it's just not the greatest wind shelter in the wind. Like setting up an A-frame, it gets the job done, but it does require a little bit extra gear. So anyway, let's move on to the next thing. Kind of related to the setup of the shelter is these trekking poles. These are Carbon Yana trekking poles. You can find them on Garage Grown Gear. It's a cottage gear company, and they make pretty nice poles. These are like some of the lightest poles you can find on the market these days. I think they're like 3.75 ounces if you get them without straps. But even though I'm not a strap person, if you're gonna buy these, I recommend getting them with the straps, because these poles, I tend to drop them a lot just because of the smaller grip. I kind of like a longer extended grip, but the weight savings were kind of nice, so that's what I got stuck with. I actually did add mud baskets back to my trekking poles because for when you're setting up a tarp, it's nice to be able to wrap it around this, and then the basket kind of keeps the ridgeline from like sliding down. That way you don't have to use the foam, because I feel like when I wrap it around the foam, it like creates a crease and it just damages the EVA foam. So yeah, and these are great for like when you don't really need trekking poles, but maybe you want to use them at the end of the day when your legs are tired. But mainly these are for setting up your shelter, because I don't want to have to find a stick and deal with all that when I'm in an emergency and like have to set up right away. I just want to have some sort of tent poles, trekking poles to set up my shelter with, which is why I ended up carrying poles. Something that is really important, especially on the PCT, because of how exposed it can be sometimes, like in the desert and many parts of NorCal and Washington, is you want good sunscreen. This is actually a Bullfrog sunscreen, and it's got 20% zinc oxide. Then it's water resistant for 80 minutes. This is definitely premium stuff. Kind of on the pricey side. This little thing was 15 bucks. You could definitely get cheaper zinc oxides. I'm kind of a minimalist, and if I can carry less things, that's what makes me happy. So I always try to carry as little sunscreen as I can, and then just replace it in towns when I can, to save a little bit of weight. And yeah, this is good stuff. It keeps your skin from getting burnt to a crisp. So I switched from a 30,000 milliamp hour battery to a 10. And the difference is quite massive. You got 19 ounces versus 7. And you can get one that's like 5 ounces if you get the Nightcore one, like 5.5 ounces. So that's a huge weight savings. But really it's because all of my other items have been going down in weight. I just find myself being in town more often, and there's no reason to have like 7 days of battery life, because pretty rare that I would ever go like 5-6 days. I mean, usually it's like 3 days or less, and I hit a town or someplace where I can charge up. So yeah, that's definitely helped lower my base weight, is carry less battery. And also it's helped make my hike more focused. I've really been enjoying being out in the woods and just not really staring at my phone and checking far out all the time. I think those things can be distracting and kind of, you know, you can lose sight of why you're out there in the first place. So definitely something I recommend is trying to lower your reliance on technology. So final item that we're going to be talking about today is my backpack. I've been really happy with this backpack. This is a Meadowlark 30-liter pack. It's made by Neighborhood Packs. I'm pretty sure these are still around, and if they're out of stock, they should come back in stock pretty soon. But I went from having 2 of these pouches to having 1, and then switching back to the this bungee, like this stretchy, it's almost like legging material for my other side, because with this one you can really stuff a lot of things into, and you can kind of just keep stuffing it, whereas this mesh doesn't stretch at all. And this Venom mesh, although it's very strong, it doesn't have as much elasticity as the legging material I found. But that's okay, because you got like 3 different pockets here. You got the bottom pocket for your snacks. Here you can put your steaks or maybe more snacks. And then up here you can put like your first aid kit and any other things that you need like quickly throughout the day, maybe like your ditty bag and stuff like that. And what's interesting is I actually went to not using a sternum strap at all, because I forgot the sternum strap when I mailed this to myself. And I found it was actually great not having a sternum strap. Like, there's something freeing about just throwing your backpack on, and you don't have to do any extra like clipping in. It's like, it's a minor thing, but it just feels like, it feels more efficient. I mean, and the comfort is really not, I don't notice it being less comfortable without the sternum strap. Like, it was still great. No hip belt either. I carried a detachable hip belt strap, but I never took it out the whole hike. Like, it was in my pack. So yeah, very happy with this. One major thing, and this is why this makes a really good PCT bag, is this Y strap right here. This thing is like crazy long. You can like pull this all the way out, and then you can mount a BV500 on top of your pack, and you can carry it that way instead of having to shove it inside, which I don't think you'd really want to do anyway, because this pack is so like slim and narrow. I mean, it looks big, but it's only 30 liters. So yeah, and because of that, you also have to pack your gear a little bit differently. I would say less stuff sacks and more packing your items loosely to kind of fill up all the space, rather than having like stuff sacks where, you know, you have these odd shaped items, and then you'll have like that gap will be created between the pack and the item, and you're not going to be maximizing the most space you can. So yeah, well, I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. Those were some gear items I used. There's definitely more things that I've changed about my gear other than this, but these are ones that kind of stood out to me and ones that have really helped me enjoy my experience more. Like really the tarp and cowboy camping have been the two big things that just completely opened up a whole new world of hiking, because it's so much faster than setting up a tent every night, and like it just takes up no space in my pack. I feel like I'm carrying nothing. It's insane. So I really do recommend trying it out if you can. And there's something cool about just laying there and being in a rainstorm, and you could see the rainstorm, but you're totally protected by your tarp. It's just a cool feeling. And yeah, hopefully you guys can try that out. And yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you in the next video.